welcome back to the channel. It's Gita here. Thank you for joining me. Today I have a special guest, my son Tazio.
Hi.
Tazio is here. We're going to, because there was some interest, actually, okay, this is what's happening. Me and Tazio are chilling right now and trying to find something for him to do to get off his computer games that he enjoys so much. So I said, while my girls are napping, I said, let's go through, I'm trying to pique Tazio's interest in tarot. We have, about a year ago, I started to teach him and my niece the basics, and we didn't get any further, I think, than the suits and just, what the different, the elements and how the suits correspond to the elements. We basically just started to go through the minor arcana, but I never even started to touch on the major arcana with him. I have asked him about his interest, if he'd be interested in having his own tarot, and he is curious about it, so we're having a little exercise right now to get him a little more into tarot. And what we're doing is we're going through the UnderSeaTarot because it's the only deck I have in my collection right now that would speak to him at his age. He is a 12-year-old boy, almost 11. Yes, he's almost 12. He's going to be 12 in July. Okay, so we're gonna look at the UnderSeaTarot, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do free association. I'm trying to teach Tazio the majors. Because I've explained to him the basics already, I'm trying to let him just see the cards and form his own opinion on them before I tell him the meanings.
It's a lot of fun around it looks.
Yeah, so we're having a lot of fun, and he's been saying some really insightful things. So I said, let's record this, because I think this will be fun. So we're gonna use the UnderSeaTarot. Let's find a card, and Tazio is gonna describe what he sees. What do you think's going on in this card?
So, okay, I think so. It's this guy, right? He's kind of old. Actually, he is old. And I think he's also, lives alone. But, instead of living in, a ravine, he lives on, a coral reef, as you can see here. And, every day, he goes out and then he goes and finds some starfish to take back home. Because, with a card I saw earlier, this guy or girl was giving out starfish, so I think they're kind of valuable, and he's collecting them right here, so
Right. Earlier we looked at the 6 of starfish, and Tazio was able to see that starfish were valuable by the way that the lady was giving, or I don't know if it was a lady or a man, she had long hair, but was giving out the starfish and the 6 of starfish. So Tazio is aware that starfish are pentacles, and that pentacles are something of value. Yeah, Tazio, you're right on. The 4 of starfish, or the 4 of pentacles, is about personal wealth and resources, stocking up on your resources. It's about building a foundation. The 4s are always about foundation, because just like you need 4 corners or 4 pillars, when you build a house, it's got 4 sides. So the number in tarot, the number of 4s usually have to do with stability, foundation, and stuff. And yeah, you're right. Sometimes the 4 of pentacles or the 4 of starfish can also mean greed, because it's like you're holding on to all this stuff. It's almost like a hoarder. You're holding on to all.
You're not spending it.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't there a Bible story about that?
I think you're right, probably. Yeah, so it's like saving for a rainy day, building up your stock, your reserves. But are you, at some point in time, you gotta use it. You gotta do something with the starfish.
I mean, it does sort of look like he's looking around, collect them. Is anyone here looking around, either he's trying to do it secretly, or I don't know, he heard something.
Yeah, well,
I don't think he is greedy, though. I think he's just, collecting them for,
Yeah, he's probably not greedy. He's just more pragmatic. He's just like strategic, you know?
Yeah. Like,
And
you
I
never know
think
when you might be in depth or something in the ocean.
exactly. And that's really what this card is about as well. It's like, you know, being smart and planning ahead
Don't know why they have ranked up.
and being kind of level-headed. Okay, cool. Let's do another one.
I kind of feel like it's in a lower class too, because like some people like don't like, because some of them have like like that, like fins. I feel like the ones that like have fins are in the high class, and the ones that don't are in the lower class.
Should we do this? Seven of Swords?
Alrighty, this one. It doesn't. I don't think it's like a conundrum with the humans and stuff. I think this man is just like getting a bunch of swords, or maybe, who knows? Like maybe he's in like some sort of resistance or something against like the other, like higher class, because he's definitely low class, but he's gathering swords. Because I don't really know why anyone else would want swords. Like, why would you like? People don't really have collections of swords, I think, to show off. So yeah, I think that's what's going on here. Plus, he's looking like, so it sort of is like he's in resistance against like maybe like the king or like someone else, and he's like trying to gather, you know, weaponry and stuff. Probably with someone else because the king will definitely wipe the floor with them.
And what do you remember what swords represent?
Wind.
And what does wind represent?
Free.
Yeah, but it represents thoughts.
It does?
Yes, and it represents information. Because air, the suit of air, wind, swords, represents intelligence, ideas, thoughts, communication. You know, as opposed to
communication. That makes sense because like communication, like resistance, like that's a very social thing.
Well, he's also being sneaky, isn't he? Because he's like sneaking out with them, and it looks like he's stealing them.
Actually, yeah, sort of. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
like I thought he like maybe like he got those from like that card with that free of swords card earlier. Who knows?
Oh, took them out of the ship.
Yeah, and like maybe he found some others in the ship. I just figured that, but yeah, maybe he did steal them from like someone.
Exactly, and
like steal them from the other resistance or whatever.
The thing about the sevens is that they make you question, right? So it is kind of a card where you don't really know what's happening, but you don't really know exactly what's happening, and I think that's what is the essence of the card. It's a bit tricky, you know? Something is being some sort of injustice. You don't know who's doing injustice to who. Yeah. Anyway, I struggle with the Seven of Swords sometimes to really understand what it means. But I think you did pretty good based on what the evidence given here. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do this one.
Ooh. All right. So I think maybe this is like some sort of like Little Mermaid stuff. Like right. Like maybe it's the king's daughter, or maybe someone in a definitely higher class daughter. Because like I said, the ones with like fins probably in higher class, and maybe who knows either like she's sneaking out because like obviously they don't want her to get spotted by the humans and stuff. So she's sneaking out with the sharks, and the sharks, or yeah, definitely sharks, like can use her as protection, just in case, I don't know, some stuff does happen. Or she's just like a normal girl who like decided, you know, I kind of want to like just have some nice midnight exercise out on the moon. Or she like wants to see what the outs like, because like night sometimes kind of terrifying, but also kind of beautiful. So maybe she just wants to see like the outside world, like specifically for night, because it does look like she's sort of moving, like looking, and she's kind of like pointing, kind of. So maybe that's what it means.
Yeah, well, I think the essence of what you're getting out about her, you know, wanting to see what it's like out at nighttime, it kind of speaks to the wildness that we see in the moon card sometimes. Because when the moon is full at nighttime everything comes alive, right? And it is a little scary, but it is a little beautiful,
At the same time.
and it is very active, you know. The moon card is a tricky one because it's very symbolic. The moon represents memories, it represents dreams, it represents the subconscious.
I know, it could be a dream. Like, it could be a dream of like a lower class.
Right, exactly. It could be a dream. But with the sharks are kind of symbolic of like the wild nature and the unpredictable. It's almost a little scary, you know?
Yeah, nature is definitely unpredictable.
Yeah.
Especially wild animals.
But she seems to be quite comfortable, you know? She seems to be at peace with
Like I said,
this
it could
wildness.
be a dream. Or like maybe like lower class people, like no fins. Like they're not really chill with like the wild animals. And wild animals, since like, you know, they don't have fins like the wild animals in the water, they don't really like them. So to them, they're just wild animals, and to the wild animals, they're edible, so it's fair game. But like the upper class with like the fins, since the other animals have fins, maybe they're like in cahoots with them, you know, like chill.
That's true. That's true. This is an interesting world, this undersea tarot. All right, what do you think's going on here?
Wow. Are those genie? Like, okay, so it sort of looks like they're at this, like, you know, obviously this is above sea, right? And they're in this giant rock with this giant mountain or whatever. And there's a tower, lighthouse, and they're striking the lighthouse. Because these definitely aren't the average people. They're like blue. They look like the genies. They look like genies.
Are you sure?
And there's, huh?
They look like regular people to me.
Really? They seem blue. And literally flying. And it seems like they're like striking the tower. So, who knows? Maybe these creatures, things, are striking the tower because someone that's in that tower, they have beef with that person. Or maybe like since they look like genies, they could be genies, which would be kind of weird. But like they're genies, right? And the genie and they and one of the like the owner like broke the lamp or something like that. No, like okay. So basically, person right goes underwater, finds lamp in water, does a bunch of wishes, but then he like breaks the rules and like. The genies tell him, don't break the rules. But, like, they break the rules instead. And he's like, all right, karma will happen. And this is the karma. A little bit far-fetched because, like, why is there genies in a water deck? But you never know.
Yeah, no, actually, that's actually quite interesting because the tower is about, like, it's like a catastrophic event, but it's almost just like the, it's like the climax, you know. There's
this will definitely be the
there's
climax
series of events that lead up to this, you know. There's a whole bunch of series of little events that lead up to this and choices made that end up resulting in a cataclysmic
this will definitely
event.
be the climax.
Exactly.
Or maybe they're just trying to like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of a little bit looks like they're sending lightning, but maybe they're like trying to like oh no, like, you know, because like I don't know, they like the tower or something. I don't know. This is a very tricky one.
Yeah, but you know, whenever you have a climax in the movie, that's not the end. That's just when things get really exciting.
Yeah.
You know, so even though it's a bit scary and shocking and all that, and it's like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
It's like I can see
that there's still gonna be a happy ending. Well, like, most likely.
Yeah, because I can also see it's like at the beginning, like the movie opens up with like this, like, you know, and like
exactly. Sometimes that's how things start.
Yeah,
you know?
Or maybe like
things start with a big bang.
Climax, maybe in the middle, and this is where like all the destruction happens, and or the climax, or like the end.
Yeah. For real. Cool. But anyway, we know that this is only an episode, and that after this there's going to be some sort of resolution.
Yeah, very
even though it's very shocking in the moment. Okay, what about this one?
Two of okay, I think this is another like Jesus like figure. Actually, he looks very different from the other ones. Maybe this is like another like underwater. Oh, like yeah, like maybe this is like the one that like the other guy I was talking about that was stealing the swords. You know, because he does. Because like he seems like he was searching for something, right? Like with his tridents, and then he finally found it. This like weird orb. Like he also looks kind of evil too, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, cause like why is there another trident there? This is another tricky one.
Well, what is he doing? What is he doing?
He's holding like some sort of orb.
Yeah.
So like maybe like it's like some other species, right? Wait, no, okay, this is a good one. So maybe, like, the other card earlier with the guy, like, collecting the tridents, like, maybe they're in, like, war with, like, this other species, and this other species is, like, looking for, like, some, you know, because, like, they're completely outmatched by, like, Poseidon himself or something. So they need to find some other things besides just basic tridents. So they found this orb. Don't know what it does, but it does that.
Yeah, and he's looking out and he's like contemplating his next move almost, right?
Yeah, like, all right, finally, I found this orb. Now, what shall I do?
Yeah, it is. So it is like planning. It's looking out. It's foresight. He seems like he's ready. It seems like he's almost ready, right?
Yeah.
To
like okay, he's like
to do something.
Like all right, the final step of my plan, or all right, almost the final step of my plan. Like you know, like now I got this. Now everything should go according to plan, or now everything should be set in motion. Like everything's coming together now.
Yeah, definitely. That sort of echoes themes of the two of tridents or two of wands. What's interesting in this deck is you're looking at the guy. Normally in a two of wands deck, you're kind of looking from the person's perspective. So you see them holding the orb, and they're usually holding a globe and looking out at the world. So this is a card about looking out and being open to possibilities, and like seeing sort of like the possibilities, and like knowing the power that you have in your hand, you know, to execute your vision, you know.
Yeah, it's like I'm a bit leaning towards the all right, the plan is coming in motion now, you know.
And we have to remember it's always important to remember what the element represents. So if tridents represent wands, what are wands?
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire underwater. Or maybe he's not evil or anything. He's just like, all right, finally I got this orb. I can sell it. Or maybe finally I got this orb. Now I can do this little thing. Because like with that orb, some magical thing. But I don't know, make him happy or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe the orb can like cure sickness or something. Like maybe one of his family members like.
Yeah, it's a lot of possibility, a lot of potential that he has in his hand that he sees and he recognizes. And he's just kind of thinking about what's his next step going to be and how he's going to do that. All right, let's do one more and then we'll take a break for this video.
That last one was cool.
Which the death one? This one?
Oops. Hold on. Keep going back. Like one with blue hair, like writing one of the, like he was like writing one of those things. He was like on that one.
Okay. All right, we haven't done any courts. Yeah, let's do a court card. They can be tricky, so, but go ahead.
All right, Knight of Sword. He seems like another species, but also not. I'm gonna lead towards that. He is right, like he is a lower class, right? But he's like a super high lower class. Like he's tired of like these lower class being treated like this. So he's decided to like take action. That's why he's on a ginormous seahorse. And like, you know, with that armor, he's like, all right, time to take action. Or maybe he's trying to prove the lower class worthy. Because like with like the war thing, like with a like the human's discovery, and he's trying to like help the other. He's trying to help the. He's trying to help Poseidon, the emperor, and prove lower class is worthy, or he's like you know, with the war with that other species potential, and he's also trying to prove lower class worthy. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. Knights are definitely about taking action. They're definitely about being impulsive. It's definitely a sort of like a masculine yang sort of external
he seems
energy.
very different. He looks very similar. Like out of all of them, he looks the most similar to a human.
And when we think
he has like little fins right there.
Yeah, and when we think about swords and swords relating to intelligence, ideas, communication, it's interesting that you would say that he's trying to
prove.
Yeah, fight for justice. It's like he's
knights
fighting for a truth, you know?
Because like aren't knights all about like justice or something?
Yeah, they are. They're about quests. Knights are about quests.
He looks very different, like especially with the blue armor and stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's riding a seahorse.
Yeah, okay, great job. You're doing a great job. All right, so we'll put it on pause now, and we'll pick this up another time. Thank you so much, Tazio, for helping us today.
You're welcome. It was a lot more fun than I expected to be.
Good. I'm so glad you like it. I'm thinking about getting Tazio the Mystic Medleys tarot for his first tarot. I can't let him use this one because it's out of print, so I can't let him use this until he knows how to shuffle properly. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Just showing you fun and simple ways that you can engage your kids or people, or you know, people that are interested in tarot to learn tarot. And I find that by doing this, Tazio helps me to see new things in the cards that I wouldn't have seen and draw new connections. So I think this is what's really cool about this exercise. It helps me to keep a fresh perspective. So thanks, Tazio. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye. I'll like and subscribe or something.
You can't stay.